All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? You're listening to episode 8 of Just Breathing with Laud Lungs. I am joined today by Ian Kenna, and he's not my wife.
That's true.
So that is a good thing. Good thing. You are,
I would agree,
my first other guest.
Woo! Woo! All right, I'll take it.
So I'm going to do a quick intro for Pat, and then we'll get talking. But Pat is a pastor. He is a musician with Laud Lungs. He's a musician at his church. What else do you do?
That's it.
You're a father.
Oh, yeah. I'm a
You're
dad.
A father.
That's true.
That's a big
part
deal.
Of me.
Big deal. Husband. How's that been?
How's been a
father?
How's been a father? Good. This is going to go so well. How's been a father? Is that what the question is?
I'm just going to start there because I don't really think we've ever, guys don't sit down and like,
how are you being a dad?
Yeah.
It's been tough, man. It's especially during the quarantine. I'm starting to do the too. And
all right, by the way, before we started this podcast, we were going to do a tally for how many times I say which I realize I have a problem. I'm working on it. I'm doing a 12-step program.
Step 11. But yeah, just one kid. Obviously, you know that. Chase loves your kids. And, you know, Chase is very nonverbal right now. He has maybe like 5 words. But he's in this weird phase. I don't know if your kids are in this phase. I've seen some of the videos your kids watch. But
kids
Chase,
are always in a weird phase.
But Chase loves to watch kids playing with toys on YouTube.
Yo, is that Kyle? Is that Kyle kid?
I don't know.
But there's this kid, Kyle. I can't remember his name, but it's basically like Kyle plays with toys.
Yeah.
And he is a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because
Kyle, if you watch this video, hit me up.
But like seriously, there is something about that. So it's good to know that there's other kids that are engaging with this, because my kids could sit for hours and watch a kid play with. Sometimes it's a toy that they own.
Yes.
They'll sit there with the toy and they'll be like,
dude, I have tried to. So Chase has these toys. So then after the video's done, I'm like, hey, man, let's play with your toys. And when I try to play with them, he's like,
this is boring.
This sucks. Put on that one again. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I mean, I know I'm old, but
there's something weird about that, man. I mean, like the fact that you have grown adults watching video games.
Yes. I'm guilty. I do that every once in a while.
I don't play video games.
Me neither.
And I've watched video games.
Yes.
I totally have been like scrolling through Facebook and those like
what's your guilty pleasure video game that you watch people play?
I don't actually know.
Is it like a shooter game?
I just like
Is it like Animal Crossing?
No.
Oh, I watch GTA 5 all the time. It's bad.
You're like living out that heathen nature that you want to live out.
It's not even like bang bang. It's not like that GTA. It's like they're like racing through the sky. It's weird.
Yeah.
But I watch it all the time.
I always come in on the most mundane parts of those video games where a guy is like stuck in a level.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I watched this one for I think an hour where he was literally, he ran this map. I don't even know what game it is. And he kept like, it was like a medieval type game, you know, and he's running through and I don't know if he's even trying to find something.
Not
because
sure what's going on.
He wasn't even like talking that much about the game. He's like,
cool.
Every so often he'd chime in and be like, I'm just going to go over here. And then he'd go and he'd start just talking about random stuff. But for some reason, I watched this guy run around a game map for an hour.
Dude, but it's just
so weird.
It's just the cult followings, dude. It's like you see it because other people see it.
Yeah.
And then because other people are watching it, you're like, why does this guy have 2,000 viewers right now?
There is something
need to
about
watch
that. There is something about that. Yeah. Like we could be sitting down and having the most meaningful conversation in the world. And people be like, I've heard those before.
It's okay. It's all
Yeah.
right.
But that guy playing that game
Dude,
that
time
I
trial
played.
on Super Mario World 3 NES, great. Yeah.
Now, is time trial the one where they like try to run through the
As
game
fast as they can.
See, okay,
Those are
that's
cool.
entertaining.
That's cool.
That's entertaining because I can't make it through one level of
But
those.
I could also just go on YouTube and just like look that up, then watch somebody fail at
Yeah.
it live. Like I just want to see success. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one mess up, but that's okay. We
Okay.
got from being a dad to watching live stream
our-
video gamers.
Yeah. To our sad lives. Man.
Kids are the worst. They just watch kids play with toys. Dude, I watch all these guys play video games.
I mean, hey, we're also sitting there and watching those kids play with toys.
Mhm.
We're not denying that.
very true.
Yeah. But back to Chase.
Yes.
So he likes to watch.
He likes to watch these
types of
things,
videos, yeah.
and I don't know, man. I like my first kid. We
Yeah.
only have one right now, and I'm still like, it's my first time having a 3-year-old. So, or soon to be 3. Maybe by the time this comes out, he'll be 3. And I'm just like, okay, how do I do this? How
Mhm.
do I father a 3-year-old who only has a couple words and loves Paw Patrol and like loved Toy Story for a little while and
Yeah.
loves to swing? And I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Being a dad is weird. Everyone always says it's like the hardest
Oh,
job,
yeah.
but there's no preparation for it. Like you figure it out on the fly.
Well, the fact that they give it to you at the hospital. I mean, I've heard comedians make those
Uh-huh.
jokes like, how could a sane person give a beautiful child to these guys?
Dude.
And it's so true. I didn't realize that until they were like, all right, you can go home now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
It didn't even hit me, man. Like so when Chase was born, he actually went to the NICU. He spent his first 2 days in the NICU. He was born with like fluid in his lungs.
All right. I
I
forgot.
figured all that
Yeah.
out. But I will never forget getting home
Mhm.
and putting that car seat down on our bed in our bedroom. And I was just like,
Weird.
oh my goodness. Like,
And then
this-
he's there the next day.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was so, like, it didn't become real until then to me.
Yeah.
Like, until I got home. And then all of a sudden I'm like, shoot, I'm now a husband and a dad.
Yeah.
Like, this is tough. But man, like, there's absolutely nothing better
Mhm.
than coming home for lunch in the middle of the day. And like, he sees me at the door and like just comes and sprints over to me.
Yes.
And I'm just like, dude, Eagles could win 10 Super Bowls and like not even going to touch that
No.
feeling.
No.
Not even close.
Nope. No.
But to answer your question, how's dad? How's
How's been dadding?
been dadding? Good. Difficult, definitely during the pandemic as well, because we have a park right down the street from our house
Oh yeah.
and we couldn't go on it for like 5 months.
Same.
And
Same.
he saw it all
Ours
the
is
time.
chained off.
No,
the-
ours is open now, so we're good.
ours is still chained off.
Oof. Yeah, I would just break those chains. You know what I mean?
Break this.
He's the chain breaker.
Yeah.
What? That's a song, right?
I think
K-Love?
so.
Sponsored by K-Love.
Sponsored by K-Love. That's not a sponsor.
Mm-mm.
Not yet.
Goodness.
Yeah. No, it's been
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 kids.
It's
How's
been
all this
something.
going? Plus working at home.
Working from home hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like I thought I wouldn't be able to focus, because I'd have screaming kids running around, and I have screaming kids running around.
Mhm.
That is a fact. But I don't know. There's so many plus sides to being at home. Like I was just thinking of
Like helping me get a TV
like helping you
because
get a
I poorly
TV
mounted the first one.
during work,
Yes.
to which I may or may not have arrived late past my lunchtime.
My bad.
But I was doing
The Lord's
service.
work.
I was doing the Lord's work,
Anyways.
Trump's work. Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. There's definitely been some adjustments. I just got one of those standing desks.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
You're going to start putting a treadmill underneath it so you can like walk at the same time.
I have seen those.
You
Those
can
are
do
like
it?
$2,000.
Yeah, but if you already have the standing desk, now you just
standing
need the
desk was
treadmill
like-
part and you can
the
get a
standing desk
treadmill
was
for
like
like
$100
$200. So
Yeah.
anyways.
I don't know. But Yeah. That has been the difficult part is being at home and like being able to do other things, but having to like sit in one place for a long time.
Yeah.
Oof, that's
Like
been
being
rough.
in work mode when knowing like your kids are right here.
One thing that definitely has helped and really took off during the pandemic is like right before all of this, I canceled my gym membership. And believe it or not, I started working out like 3 times more than I ever worked out I had a black card Planet Fitness membership.
Of course you did.
And I went like once a month.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
That's
was awful.
One more time than me.
It was awful. But as soon as I canceled that membership, I started working out at home. And then during the pandemic, it just increased.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm home.
Yeah.
So, and to counterbalance that sitting all day, just doing a couple push-ups. I bought one of those like pull-up towers.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have that in my bedroom next to my desk. So I'm working on the computer and then I'm like running over, doing a couple pull-ups, doing some dips or something, you know.
Yeah, you want to know what I do when I need a break
Tell
at work?
me, Pat.
More work.
Wow, that sounds
super fun.
So depressing.
It is really depressing. Anyways, you know, I have a sweet
Back to
pull-up
bin
bar.
dadding.
Bin dadding. Bin Laden.
Woo.
Moving on. Bin dadding. We'll just edit that out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been wonderful to have a house that has a yard.
Oh, yeah.
That has been, and you have a little bit of a yard. You have
bit.
some swings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because if we didn't have that, I don't know how people are doing it I understand more why people are so freaking out and outraged in the city or just in like suburbs or like townhouses that just have these tiny little yards to deal with and stuff because
you're just like, go play in the woods. I don't care.
They have the kids have this like animalistic state that they get in when they're just together in an enclosed space. Like literally, thank God we have an ability to just send them out. Because like they'll get to a certain stage where they're like screaming and making animal sounds. I say animalistic, but it's not that far.
Give me an example. I need an example.
Brahm's like running around the house like, you know, and I'm like, out.
Yeah.
Out.
Go play in the fire pit like your sister.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I was working during that.
Oh, cool.
And Britt was downstairs. So that's another factor that happened during this pandemic is that we were planning on sending Brahm to kindergarten.
Yeah.
And then eventually we wanted to try homeschooling, but we weren't sure if we were ready for that yet.
Yeah.
You know, and Brahm loves school. Like he loves being with other people.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right,
I've seen that, dude. We go to the
Yeah.
playground. And he's just like, hey, what's up on prom? How are you?
He's so
Are
social.
you having such a good day? And I'm
I
like,
love it. Yeah.
do you know them?
Yeah.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
He does that with everybody.
Dude, that's awesome.
He does that at the grocery store. He'll be in like the cart and he's just like, hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Are you getting anything good?
And I love the people's reactions because most people, it just brings so much joy to them.
Oh, yeah.
But like at first they're like,
are you talking to me?
are you talking to me? Yeah. They have no idea what's going on at first, which is kind of sad.
But back to schooling.
But back to the schooling. So we decided to homeschool this year.
Yeah.
And it's been an awesome decision.
Yeah.
You know, Britt, thankfully we were able to get a lot of stuff paid off. We got my vehicle paid off. You know, we were able to put money towards other debt that we had and get some of that paid off. So like Britt felt more comfortable. You know, she's still working 2 days, but she felt comfortable trying it.
Yeah.
And it's been really neat to go through that transition too. And it seems like God just sort of made that decision for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Funny how that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Like we definitely were up in the air about it. Talk about communication and marriage and all the challenges with that. My heart was for homeschooling to happen this year.
Yeah.
But like for my son's sake and because Britt was leaning in that way, I was just like, I'm not going to say anything. You know, I'm just going to let it happen.
Yeah.
And then, but God knew. God knows. God knows. Knows. Nas. He knew.
Nas.
Nas. And so he made that decision for us. So it was cool. But yeah, so while I was upstairs working all the way back to the fire pit, I was upstairs working. Britt was downstairs homeschooling Brahm, doing like reading. So she didn't see any of this.
Yeah.
And I just happened to look out the window and I see Addie laying with Elijah in the fire pit. And I'm like, Britt!
Just waiting for that spirit to fall, Dad. Just waiting for the fire to fall.
And I didn't get any video of this. I should have, but they were literally like picking like just tons of the ash and they were like sprinkling it on themselves. And
I saw a picture of Elijah. It looked like somebody smacked him in the face. Just a handful of ash. I was like,
chimney sweeps.
Oh, yeah.
They did. They look like we were doing some child labor or something.
Dang.
That's what I should have done. I should have shared it and been like, I'm loving this pandemic, getting a lot of work done around the house.
A lot of work done. I mean, Elijah's small. He can still fit up that chimney, so we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so been dadding. It's been...
Yeah. So you've been doing it for 3 years. What do you think has been the most... What's the biggest thing that you've learned so far? Biggest lesson, do you think? In 3 years. I know you...
Oh, man.
So much more to learn.
So the first thing that like pops into my head, and this is going to be like a very Christian-y kind of answer.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I've learned like so much about like the love of God over the past 3 years that like I never really understood not having a child. Like having a child just kind of opens up, not like, I don't know, not like, oh my gosh, I felt emotions like I've never felt before. But it's just like you go through these different examples. I'm like, yeah, like these different situations where you're just like, not even a question. Like I'd sacrifice everything for this little dude over here. You know what I mean? I feel like God's really worked on my patience. Really worked on my patience.
Woo!
I tell Liz this all the time, and maybe we'll get into this later on, but our first 6 months of having Chase was probably the hardest time of my life, period. Because Liz was going through some pretty serious like postpartum depression.
I remember.
And we actually, like, just so I could take care of her, we actually gave Chase to her parents for like a month.
Yeah.
And it was just like a few weeks after we had him. And it was like, I kind of had to make that call because I was like, you know what? Like, as much as I love this guy, like my bride is my first priority. So I need to make sure she's good.
Yeah.
And it was just, man, like I've never felt so helpless, but like I've never leaned on God more. Dude, it was, I would never like wish that on anybody. Cause I mean, being a dad brand new is hard enough. And then just trying to like walk through these different like there was a point where like, honestly, like I was scared for Liz. There was just a point where she's just like, who's Jesus? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like who's, and she was like, she started crying. She's like, I feel bad. Like, I don't know who Jesus is.
Wow.
And I was just like, what do you mean? And it was just like all these little things, but eventually it just got to the point I was like, you know what? Like we're going to the hospital and Jace is going to go with your parents for a little while. And like, we're just going to figure this out. And it's not something like as a guy, you sit there and you're like, oh, I know about postpartum depression. Like I'm going to figure this out. It's just like,
that's what I'm thinking.
What's
while
going
you're saying
on?
that, I'm like, we don't get taught this type of stuff.
Yeah, no,
you know,
it's
you
like,
have a baby, it's all, gumdrops and rainbows. And
yeah, dude, you paint the nursery and everything's and they sleep 12 hours a night and it's great, like right off the bat. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like
but this is real.
This is very real.
Yeah.
This is very real. I think, I don't know, like this is kind of like why we need these conversations because there's a lot of people who don't know Liz and I's story about all of that and everything that we've gone through. I mean, obviously like you and Britt do, because you guys kind of walked with us through that.
That was a weird time, man.
That was so weird.
It was,
but I mean,
it was a weird time, and I don't say that disparagingly. I mean, it was a weird time now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know where you're at now.
Yeah.
So to look back on that, you're like, what was that? You know, why was that there? You're not even the same people that you were back then.
Nah.
you're a lot fatter. And
That's 50 pounds, baby.
Woo!
That's dad bod. Let's go.
I did have to say there was this picture that was on Facebook. It was like a what do you call those? Not flashback.
Like a memory thing? Yeah.
Things on Facebook.
On this day or whatever.
Yeah, and it was like when Chase was a baby, and like you were so skinny back then.
Dude,
it's so funny.
I like look back and I think of like I may have had like an eating problem for like a little while.
You were real skinny.
Dude.
Like your chin and your neck were like
okay, like
pencil
this is
thin.
not healthy, but in a span of 6 months, I dropped over 50 pounds.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
And,
no
like-
working out, no.
Oh no, I was working out like
Were you?
oh
Okay.
yeah. Probably 2 hours a day.
What?
And I was doing like that's what I mean. Like I was going through a lot.
Yeah.
And I had calorie counts every day. And I was just
Oh,
like,
wow.
man.
I didn't know about any of this.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
That was
That makes a lot of sense now.
it does.
All right.
And then when you just go back to eating buffalo chicken dip and pizza and stuff, you feel like crap, you look like crap, you gain a few pounds, and it's okay. But I mean, at least you're enjoying life a little bit.
Right.
Gluten free.
You round it out a little bit. It's a little better. It's a little better in the face, though. I do
Yeah.
have to say, it's a little better in the face.
Just need to get this beard to grow out a little bit more. I'm always
Yeah.
so jealous of your beard. Do you use anything
No.
on your beard? Nothing?
No.
You ever use like the roller to get your beard to grow a little bit?
There's a roller.
Oh, dude.
What?
I've looked into a lot of this.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I need
Do
to
they
get
have it for like red hair?
It's not a paint on roller, homie.
What
It's like
is
these
it?
like little needles that like stimulate hair follicles or whatever on your face. I might be butchering that like really bad, but that's what I
Yeah.
think happens. And then it just makes your beard awesome.
Do you remember when?
Nope.
I don't think I mind saying his name. Do you remember when Jared started taking like 10,000 milligrams or something like that of biotin? Do you remember that?
Jared Wiley?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
No.
There was like it was after a Haven. We were talking about beards, and like my beard was a lot bigger back then, and like
It's getting to winter time.
and
You got to
he was
grow it
like,
back.
and he was like, I'm gonna get a beard. He's like, I just ordered this 10,000 milligram. You're only supposed to take like if you take biotin,
Like
it's
10.
like yeah, it's like some crazy small nut 50 or something like
Yeah.
that. And he's like, got one with 10,000. He's like, it's
Oh.
all gonna come in.
Dude.
That dude does not have a single facial hair
for
that
your
wasn't there
people
before.
who are watching this,
Yeah.
you need to have Devin bring in the picture of when him and Jared decided to use mascara
Oh no.
to darken out their beard and their mustache. Glorious.
Ugh.
Glorious.
I have seen that though. I have seen like some beard tutorial things where they're like, if you're a little patchy, because I do have some patches. I got like I'm a little light right here. I'm like light over here.
Yeah, but once it grows out,
Once it
doesn't
grows
matter.
out, you don't see it. And that's what people don't know. If you just let it grow.
Let it grow.
Let it grow.
Oh, dude, that would be the dopest thing. They make like a guy version of Frozen, but it's all about like growing beards instead of like
Yo.
making things of ice. Everything
Yeah.
just gets super hairy. Oh, this is
It's
real
like
life.
the opposite of that Manscaped. Have you seen all those commercials? We'll
I
go
can't.
down that path.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna we'll keep that.
It'll be the opposite.
Ah,
It'll be man up,
manscape, man up, beard up,
beard up.
let it
Beard
grow,
up. Yeah.
let it grow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
None of that stuff works.
nah.
I don't think like there's a lot of people
I
that,
hope that Chase can grow a
there's
beard
people
one day.
that put like hormones on their face to try
To
and
be
like,
honest, I don't even know what that
trigger-
means, dude.
I don't know what that means really. I mean, it's like a or no. I guess it is a hormone, but testosterone.
Yeah,
So they would put that on their face with the thought that it would make you more manly, I guess. Doesn't work. You just break out.
huh. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would. It doesn't sound like it would work.
No, but people have tried
Maybe
everything.
let's take like a 3-second pause, and then if somebody tunes in, we'll be talking about like this great beard growth thing, and then they'll try it, and then it won't work. Yeah, so like JC,
Anyway.
I know that you really just like to rub avocados on your face to get your beard to grow.
You know, it's actually most effective when it's mixed with Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Perfect.
Um,
Okay, so for all you listening at home,
that's the magic combination.
that's the magic combo.
It's natural. It's organic.
Cool Whip is not natural and organic.
I don't even know what it's made of. I don't know.
Pretty
It's
sure
all
sugar.
white. It's like
Okay.
a marshmallow.
Perfect. Perfect.
All natural.
So we got from
We went real deep.
bin dadding into video games, and then what did you learn in your first 3 years of being a dad to avocado whip beard
Growth.
bin bearding?
Yeah, it's a good
Done.
conversation.
I like this.
Yeah, man. I would really like to have that conversation with you and Liz at some point, and really just delve into all of that, because I think that's what a podcast, in my opinion, should be there for.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to take your life and to share it with others, and to say, you know, what did you learn from this? How'd you grow?
Yeah.
How'd you develop? Because if we're not developing, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, like
Sure.
there are some people that just kind of sit and kind of do the same thing day in and day out, and they hate their lives.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there.
I
I've been
think
there.
everybody's been there.
That's called depression.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
and
leads to depression.
or leads to depression.
Yeah.
I think most of the people that are depressed, are sitting in that state where they wish they're
They had the
scrolling
courage
down
to do whatever they know they're
Mhm.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're listening to podcasts like this, or they're listening to podcasts that have inspirational people that have developed in their lives.
I don't think I'm very
Yeah.
inspirational, but when we get Liz on here, it'll probably be more serious than like beard oil and stuff.
We
Yeah.
almost got there, man.
We almost
We
did.
almost got
We
there.
were right there,
But we wanted to save that. So that's why we veered off that path pretty hard.
obviously.
And we went to needle brushes.
Dude, no. You know what I found out? And maybe, I don't feel like I'm the only one who does this. Maybe you do it. I don't know. But whenever I talk about something serious, I
Yeah.
feel like my natural tendency is then just to follow it up with something like funny or something to like throw you off the scent. Because it's just like my natural way of like, I said it, but I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I feel like that happens so
I'm not
much.
like that.
No?
I don't think I am. This would be another opportunity to have like my wife here, because she would tell me if I was like that or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, sarcasm is definitely a part of everything that I talk about, or playing like devil's advocate. Oh, Britt hates that. She hates that so much, because I'll just switch to a different position
Yeah.
that I
Just
don't-
to have a conversation.
I don't even believe it.
Yeah.
I do not believe it. And I'm like, this would be fun.
This will be great.
And she hates it. But I don't know if I ever supplement a serious thing with a joke or something non-serious.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty serious person when it, like, once you start getting into the
You're just
the
like,
seriousness
no, here
of
we go.
it, I'm like, let's go.
We latched on to
Because-
something there. Let's go.
I mean, these are the conversations that we don't have in normal life. You
Yeah.
know, when we have screaming kids on the floor and we're like, we got to get home, they got to get to bed,
Yeah.
you know, or just in regular life too, you know, like we're not making time for these types of conversations. That's why I loved having Britt on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we don't sit down and just talk.
Yeah.
And I made a joke. I made a joke on the last podcast, because we're sitting down and people have to listen to a husband and wife talk, which is, hey, if that helps you, great.
Great.
You know. But it's funny because we do talk a decent amount.
Yeah.
So when we sit down for a podcast, we're like, let's talk again.
Just about what we just talked about.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is. Some new things do always come
Yeah.
out of it, or we reflect on things that maybe we laughed about internally but never communicated and joked about with each other.
Yeah.
You know, that's fun. But yeah, I mean, do you feel like when you kind of insert a joke into a serious conversation, are you trying to protect that person, from having to have that conversation
So,
with you?
I feel like there are times where, it's just kind of like me reading the room and I'm just kind of like, okay, like they're not ready to talk about this. Like I put myself out there, but I can tell like
Oh, okay.
they don't want to do that. But then there are some
That
times
happens.
where it's just very like, and I don't even know I do it until after the fact. Like I'm not planning it. I'm just like, haha, this sucks. This is going bad. This is really awful. I really don't know what to do. But you know what? Like that's just life.
Yeah.
And like I try to brush it off as like it's like this little
Right.
nothing, but in reality.
And I guess, okay. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely scenarios when you realize you're with a person that either can't have those types of
Yeah.
conversations or doesn't want to.
Yeah. And I feel like you only ever do that once
Oh, yeah.
with those people.
You
You're
have
just like,
to test it.
"Eh,
You have
okay.
to test it.
All right.
You don't know.
Yeah.
They could be the best listener. They could be the best advice giver.
Yeah.
But that's a hard thing.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing. And it's a hard thing to find someone who will be there for the next conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
You
let's
don't
say
want to invest in something if people
No.
aren't going to like continue the growth and
I
continue
know some
the
super nice
conversation
people that are going to get through that one,
Mhm.
and then you're not going to hear from them again.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to be more of an acquaintance style relationship from then on out.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, oh, I must have went a little too far.
Yeah.
And I do have that problem. I guess this would be an opposite of what you're talking about. I'm like a super open person. So I'll just get into it with somebody.
I could just rip off some questions to you right now and you'd just be like, yep,
And I
here's
would
my
get
opinion.
into it.
Here we go.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what I love. And that's what I want this space to be, because I don't really, I've said from the beginning of the podcast, like, I don't want this to be a safe space.
Yeah.
I want it to be safe for
A
the
safe
people that I'm
place
talking
to be unsafe.
Yeah.
That was our slogan at Haven for a little
Was
while.
it really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Josh Rankin came
That's
up
really
with
good,
that. And I was
though.
like, I love that, dude.
That is really good, because I the world's not safe.
It's not.
And to play that way, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Britt about on the last podcast too, but just a normal conversation about how much
Wait, you talked to your wife
I do.
outside of the podcast?
I do.
Oh.
She said I was a good communicator.
Good job.
But boom. But I was talking to her about just, there's so much to talk about in our country right now. And I was talking about how much my heart breaks for the fact that people aren't talking. And I literally don't care where people are politically. I don't care where people are on ideological issues. I don't care where people are. I care if they're talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like there is so much happening, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter what political side you're on. It happens on both, where we shut out the other.
Mhm.
So you can't disagree on anything and communicate with that person.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart, man.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean, there's definitely, it's a hard time. I mean, there's definitely some people that I don't want to talk to on social media, like past friends. I've people that used to be my, pastor, that I'm like, bro, what are you talking about right now?
Yeah.
And I'm honestly planning on reaching out and being like, yo, you want to come on the podcast?
Yeah.
Because I want to show people that those conversations can be had.
Yeah. And they can be healthy. Like,
Super
and they
healthy.
don't have to be had over a Facebook post, and they don't
No.
have to be done.
And that's
with
what I won't
screaming.
do. And that's what I won't do, because I've engaged with that. I've fallen into that trap in the
Yeah.
past, and I'm like, never again. I'm going to talk to
Because there
that
is
person.
no understanding in that. You know what I mean? Facebook is where everybody can go be the big bad boy that they pretend to be.
Yeah. And I
And
say
they
this
share
on every
Wikipedia
podcast, but I don't even have a
articles.
Twitter,
Oh, Twitter,
because
dude.
Twitter is a dumpster fire.
Twitter is a dumpster fire,
Twitter's
but
awful.
there's some gems on Twitter.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, that is where you'll get the best memes.
Mhm.
That is where you'll get the best comebacks and jokes. And
Yeah.
bro, I wish that's what it was. Like, do you remember when Twitter was this weird, stupid thing I think it was probably back in
So it was like
in high
Reddit.
school. It was kind of like Reddit, but it was literally people like they would tweet their day. So they'd be like,
they would like live tweet stuff?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
But that was the day. It was dumb. And if you cared, it was there.
Yeah.
But like now every tweet has so much importance and weight.
It's every platform, man. Every platform needs to be dominated by everyone. Like that's the purpose of like their social media platform, so people can stand up and be like, hey, here I am, check me out, like this, like that. Like they're there to, one, earn people money, but two, to make people known or sort of known, I guess. Yeah, dude, I wish there was like a thing that was just funny. I mean, TikTok's kind of funny.
I loved when Twitter was just crap talking.
It was just Twitter beefs between rappers.
I mean, those are fun. Some of those are fun. Yeah. But just when it was like comedians could just make crazy jokes.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, nah, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, some would fall flat, but some would be like, oh, that was good.
I'll take that.
I mean, it was a little racy, but you know, who cares? Because it's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
You know, like
140 characters.
But now
or 280, whatever it is now.
That's the craziest part right now is how connected we are to our social media accounts. And that's a huge reason I don't post as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like I just use stories.
Yeah.
Because they disappear.
Yeah.
You know, like I literally am thinking about erasing everything like past Twitter or not Twitter. Not on Twitter.
Heyo.
Past social media posts on like every platform. And
I don't know if Facebook will let you.
I don't know if it will. Well, you can't erase it.
Yeah.
They'll still own it.
It's still there.
It's still there in their server in some back warehouse.
I was
you know?
Andy Mineo. He posted the other day. He's like, I fear that like we're in a time right now where if people had to choose between their actual life and their social media life, that most people would choose their social media life. And I was just like, dude, like that cuts deep. Like,
ouch.
If you had to choose to have like actual relationships with the people that you're placed around or like only interact with people online, which one are you choosing? You know what I mean? Like that's a difficult question. But like in my head initially, I'm just like, yeah, no, like I'm picking the relationships that are right here. Because like I have 5,600 and some days left where my son is still like at home doing his thing. And I want to be there for every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oof. Where like if he's just online, how am I supposed to do that? But it was just like kind of like this culture shock that like you have all these people who are investing so much time into their socials that they forget to invest in a relationship outside of it.
Yeah.
I have so many youth group kids. So many. I love every single one of you if you're watching this or listening. But they do not know how to have a conversation in person. They will text from across the room.
Oh my God.
And they will share memes and they will share TikToks and they will share all of these things, but they do not know how to have a conversation. But they could text you till they're blue in the face, but they don't know how to just talk to you. Man. And like that scares me, dude. I'm like, there's a generation that's coming up like that.
They need to start a podcast.
Oh, we should bring them in here.
Dude,
bring some of your oh my gosh, I'll bring some of the youth group kids in here.
How cool would it be to like set teens up in like a podcast forum and just say, you two sit together, talk. You know, just go. You know, no phones. Yeah. No, but this is like, that's what I love about podcasts, man, because it breaks that mold. You know, there's so many and slowly different mediums are finding this out.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Rogan is definitely the biggest in breaking that mold because everybody told him that he needed to edit his videos. So many people was like, you gotta shorten it. You gotta,
it can't be 4 hours.
Throw it out in clips and stuff. And he's like, that's what I like. And he did it.
Yeah.
And millions of people watch it.
Yeah. Dude,
millions of people.
You sent me
and the duration too.
Yeah.
They're there for the whole thing.
Dude, you sent me one of his videos the other day. And like, I don't really listen to him.
Yeah.
But it was like posted 2 hours ago. And the thing had like 14,000 views on it. Something like absurd.
Oh, no. It had way more than that.
Oh, maybe it was like 140,000 or
Yes.
something. But it was just like,
yes.
I'm like,
bro, there's 22,000 views in the first 14 minutes.
Dude, I've released 4 albums and I haven't had that many plays through those albums in 10 years.
Yep.
But he posts something and 2 hours later, I'm just like, cool.
But this is, I mean, one, it's just a credit to his consistency.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
the dude's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah. Coming for you, Joe.
Yeah, coming for you, man. Wouldn't that be crazy though?
Dude, he invited you on there and you just riffed with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
What a day.
What a day.
What a day.
What a day. Yeah. I mean, it's credit to his consistency. It's credit to, but back to the time limit that we've placed on music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're like, oh, people can't listen more than like 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the day that that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping for the day that like a 9-minute song is normal again. I mean, people were listening to concept albums, you know, back in the 70s and stuff.
But even if there is no, especially with something like music where everything's just so artistic, like it's just like, if the song's 2 minutes, but like that's all the song needs to be. Yeah. It's like a punk rock song that just like goes hard for like 2 minutes. Like I feel like
Not much is changing.
Blink 182 made like a living on like making songs that were under 3 minutes, and like some of them were pretty good. And then, but I mean, like you have worship music that you're like, oh, this track is 21 minutes because it's spontaneous. Like neither one of those extremes should be seen as weird because it's art.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You will be, if you're in the pop verse, you know, you will be.
They'll say, here's the industry standard.
To be constricted to that. Yeah. And people are breaking that mold like crazy on YouTube right now. And podcasts are a huge part of that.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone's just like, well, he did it.
Yeah.
So I'll go for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go for 40 minutes. And people listen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it goes back to what you're saying about youth not being able to engage with each other, but still knowing
that it's needed.
There's still a longing for that long form conversation in all of us.
Yeah.
And I know personally, you know, because before I started this podcast, I would listen to hundreds of podcasts a month because I felt like I don't have this, you know, with a lot of my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of friends, you know. That's not sad.
That's an old head thing. Like,
yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I like who I like, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was a part of those conversations with those people that were having them, and I'm like, I just want to be a fly on the wall for this.
Yeah.
You know, this is. I love just any type of deep conversation. And I felt
I'm aware, man. For the past 4 years, I feel like every conversation we've had, it started off with, I was listening to this podcast the other day. And I was like, when do you work?
While I listen. Yeah.
No, it took me a little while to figure that one out.
Dude, that's been a huge part of my podcast journey has been working at the job that I have currently. Because you just sit in front of a computer and you're doing the same things over and over again. And I do have to talk to clients. I do have to do interviews and things like that. But I have so much time where I'm just clicking through and plugging in information that I don't have to think about it that much. You know, I'm looking at the application, I'm plugging in the information. So I'm just watching. Right now, my thing is YouTube.
Yeah.
I love YouTube right now. Podcasts were cool, but why not add video?
Why not? What's next?
Why not watch them too? You know, I don't get to watch them that much when I'm working, but I do love that medium because I feel like people can experiment a little more. They can go beyond the podcast. They could still have a 2-hour-long podcast, but they're in a studio and they get to experiment with all of that technology. And I love that. I love the creative process, and I love people that I love watching people also move to different studios and like grow in that
See
way.
the progress of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's this one guy, shout out to Tim Pool. He's an awesome YouTuber, and he just recently moved to a new place. And I mean, this dude works like, I don't know, 16-hour days. Like he puts out like a couple, he has three channels, and he puts out like a couple 20-minute videos on 2 of the channels, and then he has like a 8 to 10 Monday through Friday live that he does. And he makes some good money on that live one, but and through his views and ads and things like that. But like, so he was able to just move to like out to the country somewhere. He got this huge place, and he lives with like other people. He's a single dude.
Yeah.
He was doing a tour of it on Instagram, and he goes downstairs to his basement and he flips on the light, and there's a basketball court down there.
I'm not jealous.
Yo.
Like I just got so jealous.
Well, and you would
That's
hate this fact, but he's a skater. So that basketball court is turning into a skate park.
That's even cooler though.
It is cool.
I like to. I mean, I used to skate.
You do. You do. Yeah.
I can like ollie and kickflip anymore. That's about it.
I can't even do that. Bummer. I tried doing skateboarding, and like I had everything. I went to skate parks and.
Did you go to Borderline in Westchester?
No.
Oh man,
No.
It's not there anymore.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Westchester. Yep.
Awkward silence. I love it. All right. What time is it?
It is
Your fancy Apple Watch. Is that an Apple Watch?
8:41. Yeah, it's a Series 3,
is it
bro.
Awesome?
It's cool. Tells time.
So I don't need one.
No, I like that I can like answer phone calls on here.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. Texting's a pain in the butt.
I know
on
we'll
here.
all have one of those eventually, but I haven't made the leap yet.
Yeah. I mean,
I just had to send.
It's handy. That's about it.
I'm like one of the few people. I don't have it on right now, of course, as I'm saying it.
You got a Fitbit?
No. I'm like one of the few people that still wears like watches.
Oh, no. See, because
regular
like
watches?
actual regular watches are more of like a style choice now
Yeah.
than
I mean,
like a necessity.
yeah. The one that I currently own that works is like a little Casio, but
Sweet style choice.
it's a watch.
Tells time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I never even told you what time it was.
What time is it?
Is that relevant to this podcast?
No.
It's 8:40 something.
Okay. All right. So we'll wrap it up right here. We don't have to do that again.
Oh,
I just was
thought I missed
breathing.
it.
I have a cold right now, so I can't really breathe very well. So I've been holding that the entire time. All right, so let's wrap it up right here. Thanks you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure you comment on this video if you have any questions for Pat, or if you want to ask questions for future podcasts.
Hashtag Bin Dadden.
Hashtag Bin Dadden. And then make sure you share this video, like this video, and we'll see you on a later episode. Alrighty, bye. That was fun.
We did it.